Hello everyone and welcome to F1 Challenge Career Mode Part 15, the penultimate race of this season. Today we are off to Sepang, Malaysia for a circuit which is on the modern day calendar and one that I know very, very well. In fact, I've won in leagues there in the past, but of course these are much different beasts to the ones that I've driven on F1 2012 and F1 2013. But of course I'll now hand you over to the commentator.
Just before the free practice session begins, let's take a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. Mika Häkkinen is running away with the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher, second. Coulthard, third. Well, that covers the drivers. Let's take a quick look at the constructors next. McLaren lead the Constructors' Championship and arrive here having finished a legendary 1-2 in the last race. Can they do it again? Ferrari are second. Williams are third. Located approximately 80 kilometers south of Kuala Lumpur, the modern Sepang circuit combines two notable slow and medium speed turns. This dedicated motorsports facility is the first of a new breed of circuit capable of housing over 100,000 spectators.
Right, so we jump into practice, the first practice session, and we are on our out lap here going towards the final corner, getting ready to start our first flying lap. We've completely outbroken ourselves and gone into the gravel trap. We're not going to hit the wall, luckily, because of the big gravel traps here at Malaysia, so it's unlikely that we'll get any contact with the wall like we have at previous Grand Prix. But then on that lap, which we just went on, you can see Luke Abdoa set 151, but we're going to easily beat that on a 47.9, which was alright. It wasn't that good compared to the AI. I was really struggling, especially in the high speed corners. Of course, this track isn't really suited to my car. Tracks like Monza are more suited to my car. But we're on our first flying lap here, and we've done a 44.7. Now later on in the session, I had a big off, and that was literally the last thing which happened in qualifying. I didn't improve, and they were just normal laps. So now I'm going to hand you over to the grid.
Hello there. Welcome to Malaysia for round 15 of the 1999 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Over 30 degrees and climbing. It's a fantastic day for Formula One. Häkkinen first. Coulthard second. Schumacher third. Ralf Schumacher just got the edge over his teammate. He starts from fourth. Barrichello fared the same as his championship rival, the Williams driver. The Williams driver performed brilliantly in qualifying to line up sixth. Damon Hill seventh. Villeneuve eighth. Trulli, 9th. Herbert, 10th. Olivier Panis, 11th. Frentzen, 12th. Irvine, 13th. Giancarlo Fisichella, 14th. Diniz, 15th. Badoa, 16th. Wirtz, 17th. Genet, 18th. De La Rosa, 19th. Jean Alesi, 20th. Ricardo Zonta, 21st. Tora Takagi, 22nd.
Race day here in Malaysia. We are starting in 6th place, directly behind our teammate and the Ferrari on the left. We have the lights here in Sepang. And we are going. It's not the best of starts, but there's a yellow flag. Was there contact behind me? There might have been, but we're down into 7th on the start, and we're going to have a look at Damon Hill into the first corner, down the inside, easy move, maybe even our teammate. Yes, we're going down the inside of our teammate. That was kind of a dive bomb there, but he did leave it open and had a lot more speed going into it. But the Ferrari there and the Stewart are side by side. We may have a run of Rubens Barrichello here. He's our championship rival. We need to score big over him today if we want to catch him up in the championship and beat him by the end. But we're side by side with him going into the end of the first sector. Who's going to get it? Rubens Barrichello is still there on the inside. There he is, but we have got him, and that is done. We're now going to look at a replay of the start, where there was a massive collision at the back of the grid. just look at the back of the grid. I think the BAR, Jacques Villeneuve, and the Prost didn't start. So that's loads of people just wiped out. Their front wings gone. So that means a lot of pit stops for people behind me. I think the top 8 managed to escape that collision. And that was it, because Jacques Villeneuve, I think, started 9th. And I think the Prost started like 10th. So that kind of ended it. But here you can see that we're going side by side with Rubens Barrichello all the way down here. Now this is something that I really appreciate of these AI. They seem to actually respond well to bit going side by side with the player. And going around the outside, we make it easy. And of course we get better drive on the outside. But yeah, so we're now going to look at the other side of the grid to see what actually happened. See, Eddie Irvine was involved. And yep, the Prost failed to start. The BAR failed to start, and that's an awful accident to happen, but it hasn't affected us. And here we are on lap 1, maybe even having a look at Mika Hakkinen, who seemed to have really good pace at the beginning of this Grand Prix. And on lap 2, we're going to have a look at Mika Hakkinen down the inside at the end of the first sector. We're going side by side. He goes wide onto the grass. Can we get him into the left-hander? He's kind of squeezing onto the grass, and this is where my car is bad, I feel. I can't get the car to go as fast as them in any way. I have no downforce. But you can see here, we're behind Mika Hakkinen again. Can we have another go at him into this corner? We do, but it's very late, and we've actually hit him wide. So we're just going to let him back pass, because that was a bit of a stupid manoeuvre there. I outbroke myself. Luckily we haven't lost the position to Rubens Barrichello, but we may have a look at Mika Hakkinen onto the next straight, because that's the next opportunity, I feel. Now this corner here, I seem to actually drive okay. In Codemasters games, the AI has magical grip around there, and you can never do it as fast as them, but we're slipstreaming Mika Hakkinen. We may get him into the final corner here. We're going down the inside, and it's a simple move in the end. Mika Hakkinen backs out, which is surprising because he is the championship leader, but I think he's already got it wrapped up. But we slipstreamed him and then went straight down the inside. As you can see, Michael Schumacher was attacking David Coulthard, who is beating his teammate currently this weekend, which is not normal for him. But remember that you'll be voting on who I will be racing for next season. It will be in the description. This is one of your last opportunities, so you need to do it quickly if you haven't done it already. But on lap 5, we are behind Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard, and there's some traffic. There's a Minardi, and we're going to get past Michael Schumacher here. The traffic is really helping us in the recent races where we've gone to high downforce circuits and they've held up the AI. Where we may even have a look at David Coulthard soon. And on lap 7, looks like there's even more traffic. Look at that queue of traffic. I think those are all the people that pitted, of course, for the damages on the first lap. But we're going to slipstream David Coulthard here. We're going to go 3 wide, and we've just completely mugged David Coulthard, and we're up into the lead. Now, after this, I needed to build a gap to Rubens Barrichello and my teammate in order to get out the pits ahead of him, because, of course, he is my championship rival. And we'll see here on the replay that David Coulthard was completely held up by the Benetton of, I think, Alexander Wirtz. But anyway, you can see that Michael Schumacher was still hanging on the back. As Mika Hakkinen, for some reason, completely dropped off the pace of David Coulthard and his teammate. You can see him in the background there. But we're pulling into the pit on lap 14. And at this point, I was a bit worried about how this pit stop's going to go, because it could fall me all the way back to 8th place, which would be a disaster because I'll be out the points. But here we are into our pit box. We're hoping for a good stop from Williams. We got an 11-second one last time. Let's see where we can get today. Wheels changed, fuel in. It's looking good so far. On the power, and we're racing 8.3, a superb pit stop from my crew there. That's 3 seconds faster than usual. But we're going to head out of the pits now. Rubens Barrichello's already passed us, but our teammate looks to be too far back. So exiting the pits in 5th place. So that's excellent news. We are in the points, and that's a success for us. But it took until lap 21 for that Minardi to get in the way for me to catch Rubens Barrichello. Rubens Barrichello's pace was just going up and up and up. I couldn't catch him until now because, of course, the Minardi held him up. We're not going to be able to pass Rubens Barrichello just yet, but it certainly brings us closer, which we do at the end of lap 21. We may even have a look at him into the last corner like we have with other drivers in this race. We're going down the inside, but Rubens Barrichello just cuts across us. Very aggressive there, but we haven't made the place up yet. But we're going to slipstream him down into the first corner. Can we get him? We're gaining. We're now going to go down the inside. Can we get Rubens Barrichello on lap 22 down the inside? We've gone wide, and Rubens Barrichello's undercut us. And we're going to now go down the inside into the next corner. He gives us no space at all. We just about force our way through, completely legitimately, that one instead of the one that I did earlier with Mika Hakkinen. We're going to slipstream him into the end of the first sector. This battle is just sensational here for Rubens Barrichello. We're now going to go down the inside, the end of the first sector. Can we get him on the brakes? We can, and he can't get back at us. So we're now going to look at a replay of that battle that we had. I went down the inside, and then he went, of course, undercut me because I went wide. And then I had to force my way through there because he didn't give me any space. But luckily, I think I just kept 4 wheels on the track, so, or 1 wheel on the track, or whatever you call it. But I then got him into the end of the first sector. The AI don't seem to be that good into that right-hander. I seem to be more confident on the brakes. But we have made that position up, so that's easy pickings there. And on lap 23, we've gone wide onto the gravel trap, and we're going to come back on the track, and whoa, that was incredibly close to contact. Rubens Barrichello's gone off. I don't know whether I actually hit him or not, and he went off. But I've now got to repass him down into the penultimate corner. I mean the final corner, not penultimate corner, what am I thinking? But anyway, we're going to slipstream him. Are we going to go down the inside? Yes, we are, but he's still hanging on our outside. We're going to have to go to the inside here just so we don't ram into him. Although Hamilton fan will probably say that I'm a wimp for doing that. But anyway, we're going side by side with Rubens Barrichello. But I think we've actually got the move done now. So, yeah, that was pretty easy on the straight. But yet again, we've gone wide, and it's very difficult for me with my understeer to get back on the racing line. And we've then got wide at the next one. We've actually touched the grass very slightly. And Rubens Barrichello's back through, so we're going to have to pass into the end of the first sector again. So we're going to slipstream him up the hill. Can we get him? We're going to go down the inside yet again. We're a bit further behind this time though. But we're going to go down the inside, and I think we've got him. So we should now try and pull out the gap. But in this high speed, we've got tons of understeer. Rubens Barrichello's caught right back up to us. And Rubens Barrichello's going to go round the outside. He's going round the outside, and he's taken us round the outside, but he's now gone on the gravel, so we may have a look back at him into the next right-hander. Can we get him? No, he holds it around the outside again. See, that's the racing which we should see on Codemasters games, because that is just sensational driving from the AI there. But we're now going to go down the inside of Rubens Barrichello, a little bit of contact, because I realised I was kind of getting desperate at this point that I needed to pass Rubens, but it looks like I've actually made the move stick now, and we are ahead. So that's a sensational battle there, but he's back past us into the right-hander. We're now going to have a look at him into the first corner. So I wasn't expecting that actually, I completely forgot about that with my commentary. But we're going down the inside of Rubens Barrichello, we're side by side to the first corner. I'm going to have to give him space in turn 2. And we're still side by side, and we're going to get the drive out, and I think we have the line into this next right-hander. And I think we've made it. We're going to have to go to the first sector there and make sure that we get our braking right to make sure that we've made it. But we've gone up into 4th place, and yes, we have made it into 4th place. And that was it for the race. Of course, we're now going to skip on to the last lap. But I'd really appreciate you liking this video and commenting on how you felt. Of course, remember to do the poll. I will be tweeting about it as well. But we're going to head to the line for a very deserved 4th place finish and an excellent battle with Rubens Barrichello. That was over a lap of battling with Rubens Barrichello. Of course, there was that crazy crash in the beginning, which luckily didn't affect us. Mika Hakkinen wins again, who managed to come back from being off the pace to actually overtaking both Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard. So that's interesting. I think Mika Hakkinen's already wrapped it up well before this race. Of course, I didn't actually calculate it. But there we go then. So it'll be interesting to see how far off Rubens Barrichello we are as I hand you over to the results.
It's been a scintillating Malaysian Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the final results. Hakkinen first. Coulthard second. Schumacher third. The Williams driver fourth. Barrichello fifth. Ralf Schumacher sixth.
Yep, so those are the results of the race. Hakkinen wins by 7.5 seconds over his teammate. McLaren 1-2. I'm pretty sure they've got the constructors as well, as Michael Schumacher is pretty much the only person who can drive at Ferrari. Eddie Irvine just doesn't seem to do anything really. But 4th and 6th for Williams, so that's a good result there. Rubens Barrichello getting 5th though, which is unfortunate. Would have preferred he had no points. Now on to the driver standings.
With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Akkonen extends his lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship.
The good news is that we've extended our lead over our teammate to something like 6 points, but unfortunately we're 9 points behind Rubens Barrichello, so that means we're going to have to win and for him to score no points, no, 1 point at least, at the very most, sorry, for us to catch him up, as I'll now hand you over to the constructors.
McLaren increase their lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari are second, followed by the third place Williams.
If this video can hit 40 likes, I will release Japan immediately, and then I'll get cracking with the 2000 season. I do plan a little montage of my 1999 season, which will be released in due time. But for now, I will say goodbye. It looks like we've got third place, the constructors wrapped up, but we'll see in Japan what happens, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.